May 23, 1934. A dusty road in Bienville Parish, Louisiana. 6 lawmen hiding in the bushes with automatic weapons. A tan Ford V8 rolls into view. Before the car even stops, they unleash over 130 rounds. The 2 people inside are hit more than 50 times each. Bonnie Parker and Clyde Barrow dead in seconds. Their bodies so riddled with bullets that undertakers had trouble embalming them. But how does it get to this point? How do 2 young people from Texas become public enemies so dangerous that the only solution is a death squad waiting on a back road? To understand that, we need to go back to where it started. Between 1932 and 1934, Bonnie and Clyde tore across the central United States. Gas stations, grocery stores, small banks. Most jobs netted them less than $1,500. Their biggest heist, $1,900. But here's what made them different. They killed at least 13 people. 9 were police officers, 3 were civilians, 1 was a prison guard. The body count is what separated them from regular thieves. Every encounter with law enforcement ended in gunfire. No negotiations, no surrenders. Think of it like this. Most criminals hide. These 2 advertised. Clyde built a rotating crew. His brother Buck Barrow, Buck's wife Blanche, a teenager named William Daniel Jones, Raymond Hamilton, and later Henry Methvin. The lineup kept changing because members kept getting arrested or killed. They operated across Texas, Oklahoma, Missouri, Louisiana, Arkansas, New Mexico. They'd hit a place in one state and vanish before local police could coordinate. Back then, law enforcement couldn't chase across state lines. No FBI coordination existed yet. The first murders. April 30th, 1932. Hillsborough, Texas. One of Clyde's gang members shot jewelry store owner John Bucher during a robbery. Clyde was outside in the getaway car. First death on his record. December 25th, 1932. Christmas Day. They murdered grocery store owner Doyle Johnson in Temple, Texas, while stealing his car. A young family man shot dead on Christmas. August 5th, 1932. Atoka, Oklahoma. They gunned down Sheriff Charles Maxwell and Deputy Eugene Moore without warning when the officers approached them at a rural dance. 2 lawmen dead before they could even speak. This set the pattern. Badge equals bullet. The Joplin Shootout. April 13th, 1933. The gang was hiding in a small stone house in Joplin, Missouri. They were loud, partied constantly. Neighbors complained. Police came to investigate what they thought was a bootlegging operation. The moment cops knocked, gunfire erupted through the garage door. Detective Harry McGinnis and Constable Wes Harryman died in the firefight. The gang escaped in their car, shooting as they drove away. But they left something behind, a camera with undeveloped film. Those photos changed everything. Images of Bonnie playfully pointing a shotgun at Clyde, cigars, weapons, smiling faces. The newspapers ran those pictures everywhere. Suddenly they weren't just criminals, they were celebrities. Folk heroes to working-class Americans who hated banks during the Great Depression. 2 dead cops turned into a media circus. The public saw romance and rebellion. The Iowa Shootout at Dexfield Park. July 24th, 1933. The gang was camping at an abandoned amusement park near Dexter, Iowa. Bonnie had been badly burned in a car accident weeks earlier. Their car crashed and caught fire. A farmer picking blackberries stumbled across their camp, found bloody bandages, and reported it. July 29th, 1933. Over 100 officers surrounded the park. The gang woke up to gunfire. Buck Barrow took a bullet to the head. Blanche was hit in the face, permanently losing sight in one eye. Bonnie, Clyde, and Jones ran through cornfields, crossed a river, and escaped despite being wounded. Buck died 5 days later. Blanche was captured, half the gang gone, but Bonnie and Clyde kept running. The Eastham Prison Raid. January 16th, 1934. Clyde had spent nearly 2 years at Eastham Prison Farm in Texas, a brutal facility, when his former partner Raymond Hamilton got locked up there, serving 263 years. Clyde planned a rescue. Guns were smuggled and hidden near the prison worksite. When prisoners were clearing timber, Hamilton and others grabbed the weapons. Guard Major Croson was shot point-blank in the abdomen by prisoner Joe Palmer. He died 11 days later. Another guard, Olin Bozeman, took a bullet to the hip. 5 convicts escaped: Raymond Hamilton, Joe Palmer, Henry Methvin, Hilton Bybee, and J.B. French. Bonnie and Clyde picked up Methvin in Hamilton. This raid humiliated Texas prison officials. It proved the Barrow Gang could strike anywhere, even inside a prison. The newspapers exploded with coverage. Frank Hamer enters the hunt. After Eastham, Texas hired Frank Hamer, retired Texas Ranger, legendary lawman. He'd killed between 53 and 70 men in the line of duty. He didn't want to arrest Bonnie and Clyde. He wanted them dead. Hamer studied their patterns for months. He tracked their movements across 5 states. He interviewed their families. He figured out they traveled in circles, always returning to Louisiana and Texas. He learned they preferred back roads and never stayed anywhere longer than 2 nights. Hamer assembled a 6-man team, 4 Texas officers, 2 Louisiana officers. Their plan was simple: ambush. No warnings, no arrest attempts. They'd learned from the 9 dead officers before them. The Grapevine murders? April 1st, 1934. Easter Sunday. Highway Patrol officers Edward Bryan Wheeler and Holloway Daniel Murphy were parked near Grapevine, Texas. Wheeler was engaged, supposed to get married in 2 weeks. They saw a car parked on the roadside and approached to offer help. Bonnie and Clyde executed them. Wheeler was hit in the head and chest. Murphy tried to run and was shot in the neck and back. They died on Easter. This murder turned public opinion. Even sympathizers started pulling away. These weren't corrupt officials. These were young men doing their jobs. 5 days later, April 6, 1934, they killed Constable William Calvin Campbell in Commerce, Oklahoma, during a kidnapping. 13 murders now. The Trap, May 23, 1934. Frank Homer's team got their break. Henry Methvin's father, Ivan Methvin, agreed to set them up in exchange for leniency for his son. The plan: Ivan would park his truck on Highway 154 in Bienville Parish, Louisiana, near Sales. He'd remove one tire to make it look broken down. Bonnie and Clyde always stopped to help Ivan. They trusted him. The 6 lawmen hid in the bushes. They waited from dawn. Around 9:15 a.m., a tan Ford V8 appeared. Bonnie was eating a sandwich. Clyde was driving. The car slowed down near Ivan's truck. The lawmen opened fire without warning. Over 130 rounds in less than 20 seconds. The Ford was shredded. Bonnie and Clyde didn't reach for their weapons. They were each hit more than 50 times. The car rolled to a stop. The officers walked up. Bonnie was slumped in the passenger seat, sandwich still in her lap. Clyde was behind the wheel. Inside the car, they found stolen weapons, ammunition, license plates from multiple states, and Bonnie's poetry. Think of it like the end of a chase movie, except there's no dramatic standoff. Just overwhelming firepower. The aftermath. The bodies were taken to Arcadia, Louisiana. Crowds swarmed. People tried to cut off locks of Bonnie's hair and pieces of her dress as souvenirs. Someone tried to cut off Clyde's trigger finger. The undertaker posted guards. Over 20,000 people came to Bonnie's funeral in Dallas. 16,000 came to Clyde's. Raymond Hamilton was executed in the electric chair in 1935. Joe Palmer was executed in 1936. Henry Methvin got a pardon, but was killed by a train in 1948. Hollywood turned them into romantic anti-heroes. The truth was, 13 corpses and 2 decades of violence compressed into 21 months. Hit that like button. Subscribe for more true crime, explained simply. Thanks for watching.